Hello there guys, James here. Today I'll be sharing with you my usage experience of Pixel Port V2 for the POCO F1. This is running Genos kernel R19. So today I'll be sharing with you all the aspects of this ROM from the visuals, performance, gaming and everything. So first, before that, let's get some general things out of the way. Safety net does pass with and without root. And when you are installing this ROM, it will try to install a default Gcam from Google from the Play Store. You have to cancel it, or if it's already installed, you have to go ahead and uninstall that and install your own version of Gcam. The one I am using is 8.1. The next thing is that after setting up the device, I found out the default font to be a bit too small, the default display size to be a bit too small for me, so I had to go to the settings and change it. Now this is the default display size. It has its own advantages, like it will accommodate more icons in the notch area. If I enable hotspot right now, it will show a dot, but the size I changed it to, it is not perfect. The network indicator will totally disappear from this. So yeah, the default size has its own trade-offs and advantages. You have to go with the one that suits you the most. For me personally, I do not have a problem with the icon, so I left it at large. So this is the ideal size for me. Now let's talk about the visuals of this ROM. I really like this dual tone status bar look of this ROM. It's the default pixel look and I really like that. In AOSP it is tinted to the icon color, but yeah, I like this one also. It has its own unique look. It is also good that this is a very smooth ROM to use. The animations are very smooth. There is no jittering or stutters or anything like that. Everything is smooth. Every animation runs very smooth in this ROM. An improvement that they made from V1 of this port is that they decreased the icon size of the status bar, so now it can accommodate more icons in the notch area. But there are some inconsistencies with the UI, with the visuals. You will see the text is not fully shown here. There are some more inconsistencies, like when you unlock the phone, sometimes only the wallpaper will be shown, there won't be any home screen. In a very rare occasion, it did not let me expand the quick settings panel, and sometimes the wallpaper and style section does not work as intended. You have to open it multiple times. So yeah, it does have some issues, but overall it's a very good ROM because it does not have any very annoying bugs. And the issues that I've talked about does not appear often. They only appear very randomly and very rarely, so that's not a problem. So now let's talk about the general things and the general performance of this ROM. One thing that I was really impressed with in this ROM are the boot times. The first boot and all subsequent boots did not take a long time. Every boot time was very short. So I like that quite a bit. I was surprised by that. Overall app experience is also very good. Everything opens very quickly and there is not much delay in anything. And it is also quite stable. Now, one thing that I recommend while using Pixel Experience or Pixel Port or any of the Pixel ROMs is that you update every single Google app and every single system app from the Play Store. Pixel ROMs usually get more features or they improve features through the Play Store updates in recent years. So this ROM is no exception. When I updated every single app from the Play Store, it did enhance the experience a bit. But one thing you have to keep out for while updating the system apps in the Play Store is that there is an app called Android System Intelligence and you should not update that app from the Play Store in this ROM. The developers have given a link to that APK. You have to download that manually and update that manually. But yeah, updating every application did make a difference in using this ROM. So yeah, I recommend you guys to do that. One thing this ROM is lacking is customization. Because it's a pixel port, Google does not have the amount of customization that other developers add on top of AOSP Android. So customization is something that is lacking almost completely in this ROM. Next up, we'll talk about gaming performance. So in the default setting, I found that it allowed quite a bit of heating. I was surprised by that, but the gaming performance was also good, so nothing to complain. But because this ROM is running on Genos kernel, you do have the option of installing Genos profiles and changing the kernel parameters. You do have the profiles, so if you want the maximum gaming performance, you do have the gaming mode to get the most out of the ROM. This mode has the best gaming performance and also the slowest charging speeds so that you can keep temperatures at a minimum even while plugged in and gaming. And the gaming performance overall was very good. I tried PUBG New State in this. It ran quite well. In the default settings, in the general settings, it does not run perfectly, but using the game mode, it did improve the gaming performance a lot. Now, New State is not like BGMI, it is very less optimized, so it does not run at constant 60 FPS most of the time. it does drop quite drastically in some areas of the map and so on. So yeah, the gaming performance is overall very good in this ROM. But one thing you do have to consider is that if you are using gaming mode, you do get a massive hit in your battery life. But because of the profiles, even if you want to game while conserving battery, you can game with the battery profile. The game is still playable in this profile and you lose very less battery. But yeah, for all out gaming, I do recommend the gaming profile. Another thing in the gaming section is that sometimes the gaming mode stays on even after you left the game, so that can be annoying a little bit because you cannot just simply turn off the game mode. You have to disable the whole thing entirely. So yeah. Now let's talk about battery life. If I can sum up the battery life of this ROM with one word, that would be consistent. I tried this ROM many days without gaming, and on casual use I got around 6.5 to 7.5 hours of screen on time in both the general profile as well as the battery profile. So yeah, the screen on time and the battery life of this ROM is very consistent. But the drawback is that because you get the good gaming performance, if you turn on the gaming settings, it will take a massive hit on your battery life. And even in the general setting, just gaming took a big hit on the battery life of this ROM. When gaming, I got the battery life in the range of the 5.5 hour mark. So yeah, you have to keep your eye on that while gaming. So now let me share my personal thoughts about this ROM. This is a very good ROM. It does has its flaws and glitches and drawbacks. It is not perfect. The visuals aren't perfect. The battery life isn't perfect. This is not the most battery life I have gotten about in a ROM by a long way. So yeah, this is not a perfect ROM, but this is a very consistent ROM. This ROM is very balanced in everything, the visuals, the overall usage experience, the features, the pixel features that you get, the Google Assistant, like if you call up OK Google, the new assistant, and yeah, this is a very good ROM overall. It's very balanced. You can have good gaming performance out of it. You can have good battery life out of it. Not excellent, good battery life out of it if you are using it casually. So overall, this is a very versatile ROM. Just like all the other ROMs from oofgang, this is also a very versatile ROM because of the Genos profiles also. Now let's conclude. So this ROM is very good for the casual user and a person who is looking for a ROM to daily drive. You know, the neat little pixel features, the small touches that Google has added over Android is very neat. I like the visuals and I like how consistent the performance and battery life of this ROM is. But yeah, I do recommend you guys to try out this ROM. Even though it has some minor bugs, it is not to the point of annoying, not at all. And I really enjoyed my experience with this ROM. So that has been it, guys. If you have any questions or queries, feel free to leave them in the comment section below and see you guys in the next one.